Hey, what's going on, y'all? So I want to talk about the incident that happened with T.I. and King. So they was at the Falcons game, and there was some jokes that was being made or whatever, and things went left. So all of a sudden, King and T.I. get into it at the game, and T.I. said something into effect that he was an embarrassment to the family. And then King start saying, "Get your hands off me. I ain't scared. This, that, and other. I'm a grown man now." He also mentioned that he wondered if he was a mistake to his parents. Where I stand on this, that whole scene that happened, they ain't just started with that video. That right there, it just happened to be in the limelight. But you best believe they've been having a rocky relationship for a long time. There was an interview that King had done with Funny Marco. And he told Funny Marco in that interview, when they was doing the reality show, T.I. and Tiny Family Hustle, keyword family hustle, he said they would come and pick him up from his grandmother's house and put him on the television just to film the show. And when it's over with, they send him back to his grandmother. So he was basically saying the whole time he was not living with them. He was living with Tiny's mom. So now there's a red flag. But there's people out there who saying, well, King better be glad that he got it made because his parents are wealthy. He didn't have to struggle. He didn't have to go through this. His parents made a way. That's besides the point. Yes, they may have provided for him financially, but they did not, based on what King was saying, according to him, they did not provide the nurturing. They did not raise him. His grandmother raised him. So basically, T.I. wasn't actively enough to raise his son. He was more so around just so he can put on the front for TV that he's this big family man when he really wasn't. Because you got one child that lives over here with their grandparent and everybody else, they stay with you. I don't think the other kids will stand with him like that either. I think his daughter, Deja, I think she was living with her mom at the time as well. I'm not really sure. But here's the thing. You put on the front for the world to make you believe that you the greatest parent of all time. It's so easy to blame the child and say, well, the child is unruly, disrespectful, and ungrateful. But y'all not looking at the bigger picture of what was going on. So he was bottling up a lot of issues that he had with his father, in particularly. But it was only going to be a matter of time before he start to let it all out. And at that moment, at that game, he let everything out. He let all his feelings out. Now, no child should be bucking up at their parents or whatnot. And I have my views about T.I. regard to allegation or whatnot that I believe that he done. I believe those allegations to be true. All right. So no, I don't condone a child bucking up at their parents or disrespecting their parent. But just like at some point in time when a parent has their breaking point, a child has their breaking point as well. A child has a breaking point when they get tired of their parents putting on the front, just so they can keep up their image and continue to have reputation. So with King, he got tired of them faking like they were the greatest parents and they were one big happy family when they really wasn't. So when the cameras is off, that's when the true colors are shown. But when the cameras are on, everything is a front. And I honestly believe that this little boy has more to say than what he was telling on the interview. There's a lot more that's going to come out. This is just the beginning of it. So for all y'all that say, well, he rich, he shouldn't be like that. You don't know the backstory. As a matter of fact, kids who come from wealthy family, they have it worse. They have it worse because they get treated like shit. You got the scapegoat and you got the golden child. You got some kids who are the golden child. And it seemed like in the case with King, he was the golden child for that show. He was the poster child of that show. Because it was like more attention was on him than anybody else. Right? Then you got the scapegoat. The kid that get blamed for everything. So don't you think for a sec, just because people got fame and fortune, that the family is going to be very, very solid and everybody's going to come together and be at peace. Please, let's not get caught up in that, because that in itself is an illusion. Because we measure happiness by finances, and that's not how it goes. You don't measure happiness based on how much finances a person has or how much reputation they have. Are you guys operating as a unit? Is the family solid? Is everybody truly happy to be around each other, enjoy each other's company? So I honestly believe King when he exposed that information on the interview with Funny Marco. I believe it to be true. Because T.I. he seems like he has that type of personality. He seems to be very narcissistic. Like he cares more about himself. He cares more about himself. It's more about him than anybody else. So it seems like to me just King is just tired. He's just tired of his daddy's nonsense. He's tired of the facade that's being created. And now I'm not letting him off the hook, because yeah, he needs to control his behavior. He needs some anger management. He needs to be mindful how he treat people. But guess what? The apple don't fall too far from the tree. He's more like his father. His father produced that. His parents produced that. He's more like his father. He's a reflection of his father. So what do you expect for a child whose parent ain't really took the time to raise them, but only see them as a golden child and only use them to have a show to make themselves look good and feel good as a parent? What do you expect from him? What type of behavior do you expect for this boy to have? And hopefully he'll be able to become more mature and learn how to deal with things a little bit better in life. But right now, that boy is fed up. He fed up with the foolishness. And he's just reacting with all that he was holding in for a long period of time. That's just my thoughts. Y'all have a good one.